and welcome back to Off the Post. In today's episode, I'll be discussing whether Liverpool can still finish in the top 5 this season. But before that, as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's very much appreciated, and it goes a long way helping me build a small community on my channel. We've recently just hit 290 subscribers. We're only 10 away from my main goal, 300 subscribers. Can we go and do it? Can we smash my target? Hopefully we can do it sometime soon. But yeah, just want to say a massive thank you and a recent support on our most recent episodes, all the likes and the comments on social media as well. Definitely is going noticed. And yeah, let's get straight into the episode, shall we? Now we're doing a match reaction about Liverpool beating Newcastle 4-1 at the weekend. On Off the Post, we love to, react to a 4-1 victory, don't we? I've done it at least 2 or 3 times now, haven't I, on my channel, and we're going to do it again in this episode. So basically, right, let's start off with the, first 10 to 20 minutes. Basically, I reckon, right, Liverpool were dominating possession, but they just couldn't find a breakthrough, okay? And that's where Newcastle scored the first goal of the game. So from that point of view, I think Newcastle scored in the first goal in the 36th minute through Anthony Gordon, okay? He loves a goal against Liverpool, doesn't he? He scored a goal against Liverpool in 3 consecutive seasons back to back. So from that point of view, he does like to get revenge on his former, rival, if he likes. Obviously, once playing for Everton. So from that point of view, for me, it was a very good goal because it was against the, break of play, if you like. Liverpool were dominating the game. They were dominating most of the possession, but Newcastle, had a nice little counter-attack, nice little through ball into, Anthony Gordon's path, okay, and he sort of just, on the right hand side of the pitch, he sort of just takes a shot crossbar. On the right hand side of the pitch, he sort of takes a shot across the box, goes straight through Kirkus' legs, okay, and straight past Alisson and goal. For me, brilliant goal. Brilliant, nothing the goalkeeper could do about Alisson. So was a little bit disappointing that a Brazilian couldn't really make that save. You would probably expect a keeper of his quality to make that save, but he probably got a little bit caught out from the left back positioning and whatnot. Anyways, at this point of view, okay, literally, I want to say what 5 minutes after, the French striker Hugo Ekitike scores an equaliser, and what an equaliser as well, okay. Nice little, dilly-and-dallying from Oblivion Wirtz, doing a little majinky across 1 or 2 players, getting into the box, okay. Plays a lovely cross-field box into, the French striker's path, Ekitike, and he just takes a nice little first-time finish straight past Nick Pope in goal, I'm pretty sure, in this game. And for me, absolutely brilliant finish. And then, literally 2 seconds later, okay, 2 minutes later, he goes and scores the second goal of the game for, to put Liverpool in front, okay. Hugo Ekitike scored a brace in this game, and for me, he's been one of those, excellent strikers this season, even though he had a dip in form in the last, I want to say, month or two, really. I still feel like Hugo Ekitike is probably one of Liverpool's best signings this season, and he's just proven it once again in this game. This is a much needed win for Liverpool, isn't it? Because they recently drew 1-1 to Burnley, and they lost to Bournemouth 3-2, didn't they, in, the last couple of game weeks. So it's a must needed win for Liverpool, especially when you think about it, got Man City next week. So I think it was really good to sort of bounce back and get the victory over the line. Let's talk about the second goal quickly anyways. Hugo Ekitike, nice little, he was sort of running on through a goal, okay, and the defender was giving him too much time and space. He was giving him a lot of space, wasn't he? He needs to close him down a lot quicker than that. Anyways, he sort of takes a nice little touch, runs on forward, okay, puts the ball a little bit forward into the box, and he sort of just runs and sort of just toe pokes it, or I think he hits it on outside of the right, I think he sort of just hits it with the outside of his right boot, I'm pretty sure, and it just goes straight past Nick Pope again, near side, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, for me, absolutely brilliant goal for me. I do really rate the strike, like I've just previously said, okay. And then, he almost, right, in the second half, it's 2-1 going into half time, and then almost the French striker could have scored his hat trick, okay, because it was through on goal, basically from a centre back, mistake, if you like. He sort of just gets the ball from a centre back mistake, Newcastle defender, of course. He runs through on goal, and he hits the shot just wide. He could have, got his hat trick in this game, but unfortunately for him, he just couldn't do that. But anyways, okay. The third goal comes in the 67th minute, okay? I'm not going to do the pun, I'm not going to do the joke, no memes from me today, but for me, okay, Florian Wirtz this was a game for him really, wasn't it? Because he got a goal and an assist. I'm pretty sure Florian Wirtz has scored 6 goals in his last 10 games for Liverpool. Okay, and one absolute amazing goal as well because it started off from Mohamed Salah in the box on the right hand side, running into the box, of course, puts in a lovely little ball. He plays it back out wide. He plays it back into the box. Okay, into Florian Wirtz in open space, and he just hits it far post, and again the goalkeeper couldn't save it. It was so precise with that ball, put so much power onto it, and it just went straight past the goalkeeper. For me, this was a game for two players. Hugo Ekitike, like I've already mentioned, and Florian Wirtz. I'm so happy that it's sort of working out for him because of the amount of money they've spent about him. A lot of he's received a lot of criticism by rival fans, by Liverpool fans as well, and I really do feel like it's starting to come good for him this season. Even though it did start off quite poor for the 3 or 4 months in the Premier League. I am starting to see like I am starting to see why Liverpool spent that money on him. Don't get me wrong. At the start of the season, there were bright sparks. There were moments of magic, but he just wasn't being consistent enough. He wasn't doing enough in that overall 90 minutes, if you like. And I feel like he's impacting games now, and that's what you want to see from a £150 million player, don't you? So it is starting to look good for Florian Wirtz. So at 3-1, Newcastle's day was pretty much over, wasn't it? They weren't really gonna get back into the game. They were, a little bit poor, weren't they, in the second half? And that's where the fourth goal came in the 90th minute by Ibrahim Konate. Nice little ball in the box. I'm pretty sure it was from a corner. I'm pretty sure. And Ibrahim Konate, okay, he sort of just picks up from the loose ball. I think the goalkeeper sort of tries to parry it away, and then it sort of just falls into the French centre back's path, and he sort of just like toe pokes it, just past one or two, defenders, past the goalkeeper as well, and the ball literally just rolls into the back of the net. Okay, one of the, this is probably a little bit of a disappointing goal by the Newcastle players. They would have been, highly disappointed. They'd be watching that back and thinking, one absolute disaster class by the centre backs, by the defenders, by the goalkeeper. You probably would be expecting to, boot that ball away. But anyways, 4-1, an absolute amazing victory for Liverpool. And when we discuss can they get into the top 5 this season, for me, it's against, I feel like the top 3 are pretty much guaranteed in Arsenal, in Man City, and in Aston Villa. And then you've got 2 more spaces up for grabs. You've got Chelsea who are winning games galore. I think they're on like a. I think Liam Rosenior has sort of won 5 out of 6 games, or he's won 6 out of 7 games, something crazy like that. He's been very good, hasn't he? And then you've got Michael Carrick's Manchester United, who looks at the wheel at the moment, hasn't he? Winning his 2 back-to-back games at the moment. At time of recording, at least. Anyways, he's not played against Fulham on Sunday. So for me, it's against 3 teams, really, isn't it? It's Chelsea, Liverpool, and Manchester United. For me, I reckon Chelsea will probably get into the top 4. I reckon they'll probably finish 4th, and then it's Liverpool and Manchester United for that 5th spot. And I wouldn't rule out Manchester United because they are looking very, very good. But you don't want to, you don't want to, bank on them too early, really, do you? Because they had a poor first half of the season. But the same can be said about Liverpool. So I think it's just a flip of a coin. Maybe let me know in the comments down below who you think will finish in the top 5. Liverpool or Manchester United. Who needs it more? Probably Liverpool, don't know, considering the amount of money they spent, considering, how Arne Slot potentially might get sacked if they don't finish in the top 5, don't get Champions League football. But yeah, who knows? For me, absolutely fantastic game, and they needed these 3 points because, like I've just said, they've got some hard fixtures coming up with Man City. Sunderland is an easy game to go to at Stadium of Light as well. They've got Brighton in the FA Cup. They've got Nottingham Forest, West Ham. Probably 2 out of those next 5 games are the tricky ones. But yeah, let's just end the video with some questions. Okay, how would you feel about Liverpool potentially getting into the top 5? Will it be Liverpool or Manchester United? Let me know in the comments down below. Was this a must-win game for Liverpool as well? How would you feel about Hugo Ekitike? Where would you rank him amongst the other strikers in the league? How would you feel about Florian Wirtz scoring 6 goals in 10 games? How would you feel about, Ibrahim Konate? Would you re-sign him in the summer, or would you let him go on a free contract? How do you feel about Mohamed Salah getting an assist? Is he sort of starting to come good? I haven't really mentioned him in this video, but He's a good player. You can't tell me he's one of the best players in the whole Premier League history. Okay, I don't care what nobody says. And yeah, a little bit disappointed from Newcastle side. How do you feel like they can bounce back? Where are Newcastle in the league? Just quickly, let's have a little look see Lou. You know, they are 10th in the league, so they're not doing that great this season, are they? Is Eddie Howe going to be under a little bit of pressure, in the coming weeks at the end of the season? Is he going to potentially get sacked? Who knows? And yeah, before that, as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's very much appreciated. We've recently just hit 290 subscribers. Just want to say a massive thank you for all the support on the most recent episodes, all the likes and the comments on social media as well. Definitely is going unnoticed. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.